Hi everyone, how you all doing? I mean, not quite the lotus position. I mean, I don't even know I can get my legs like that. Not now. Not as supple as I was. But I've always wanted to be able to do that lotus position, and then go into some kind of trance and spiritual inner peace. Well, talking about inner peace, a few years ago I had this dream. Now, this is a really, really unusual dream. And the two people in this dream that I can remember, I can specifically see their faces. One of them was Tony Morris, and the other one was Mikey. This is strange. I'm going to play the video in a minute, because when I had the dream, I did the video the next day. So that's why you didn't see the video, because it was still vibrant and fresh, and it was about final last days, and roughly it was about Warwick being bulldozed to the ground. Yes, it's a dream, but there's things that happened in this dream, and I've relayed the dream exactly as I remember it. But then when we get to the end of the dream, we don't get to see the culmination of events. For some reason, the dream, or I wake up, and when I wake up, I don't get to see fulfillment of the actual bulldozers ploughing down the buildings within Warwick. Yes, I mean, obviously I wouldn't want that to happen, even if others do. But the fact that I dreamed about it was really weird. But anyway, here it is. I'm going to play it for you. And you can tell me what you think, and maybe you might be able to interpret this dream. Hi everyone, it's Marty. So I had a dream yesterday, last night, early morning. Unfortunately, the dream was cut off just before it got to the culmination and the bit of the dream where you get your answers and sort of things kind of make more sense. But I'm going to relay the dream to you anyway. This dream, it starts off like a normal day. There's nothing unusual about this day. It's just like any other day. And I remember in this dream, I remember looking up and I seen these like colossal shapes appear in the sky. They're like huge. I mean, they're like so immense that you can't even identify them with anything human. You just think to yourself, it looks like a planet that has just neared itself to the Earth's atmosphere. That it seems that big. It's just absolutely off the scale in size. But I remember thinking, oh, what the hell's going on here like? And I'm looking from left to right along the sky, and I see that there's more than one. There's like half a dozen. I suppose you'll think this is like a vision of like War of the Worlds or something like that. I suppose you could say that, and that would be a fair comparison. So I'm looking up and I'm not scared. I'm not scared because I'm more bewildered than scared. And when you are so astounded by something, you're not in fear anymore. You're just completely and utterly startled by what you're seeing. Anyway, the day carries on, and I get talking to this engineering friend of mine. And he's not one of my close circle of friends, but he is someone that I know through the engineering field, the trade I'm in. And he says to me, "Have you heard?" I says, "What?" He said, "There's a demolition team on the way to Warwick. There's 100 bulldozers and tractors and demolition crew are on their way." I says, "No way." He says, "Yeah." He says, "I heard it through someone else. This is like third-hand information." I says, "Well, that's, wow." I says, "That could be huge, huge news. I wonder who else knows about it." Anyway, I keep it to myself for now, and I'm thinking, well, I'd like to be there. I'd like to witness this demolition. This would be like really incredible to be there. So I make plans to get there. And I know that the demolition team are going to turn up at 10 o'clock on that morning. And on the way there, I'm going to laugh at this, I see Mikey. And Mikey's just finished some kind of night shift. He's got a backpack on, his work's backpack. And he's on the left-hand side of the pavement. And I know it's him because, I know his face and everything. And I follow him on YouTube. So I says to him, and I shout across the road, I say, Mikey, have you heard? There's a demolition crew. Anyway, he says, I can't hear you, because there's a distance between where I'm shouting to where he's walking. So I say to him, I've got something colossal to tell you. Perhaps it's best I don't tell you now, but I should tell you really. Sat down. I says, can you make it for a pint? There's a pub just up the road. I says, can you come in and have a quick pint? I'll get you one in. What are you drinking? So he says, yeah, all right, I'll come in. We'll see what you've got to say. So I said, well, what are you drinking then? So he tells me what he's drinking, and he says, look, you get him in. I'm just going to the toilet. This is a dream, so I have to relay it as the dream was unfolding to me. If I don't, nobody be out there be able to tell me what the dream's all about. So he goes off to the toilet, and then I get the drinks in, and then he comes back, and I sit down and I say, listen, have you heard? I said, an engineering friend of mine has told me these facts, that there's bulldozers and there's a full demolition crew on the way to Warwick. And at 10 o'clock today, they've got this commission to absolutely level the place, to knock it to pieces, to drop it to nothing. I says, I don't know whether this is true or not. I says, but, this engineering friend of mine seems to believe that where he heard it from was someone that is part of the demolition crew who's going to be taking part in the demolition processes. So I said, well, I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure I'm there. So it gets a bit nearer the time, and we're there. We're on that approach road to Warwick. And we're walking up, and there's a few apostates, but the only ones that I can recall are me and Mikey. But there are some others, but I can't identify who they are in this dream. I can only identify the ones I've just told you about up to now. But the next person that I do identify is Tony Morris III. And he seems to be walking at a rather fast pace up the approach road. And he seems a bit intimidated because he notices that there's a group of apostate men. And they're walking and trying to catch up with him. And this sort of gives him the jitters, and he feels a bit intimidated. And so he starts to make a faster pace so he can sort of get ahead. And I realise that, he's an old man. And we're a bit younger than him, and there's a few of us, and we are starting to intimidate him. And no doubt, we're putting virtually the fear of God in him. So I say to everybody, just hang back a bit, you guys. And then I just ever so slightly just catch up with him, and I just have a quick word with him. And within about 2 or 3 minutes, I realise that he absolutely knows nothing about what's about to take place. This demolition that's coming his way. And he's more concerned with getting to the pump house and opening up the rotork valve. This is the valve that takes the pressure off the lake, because if he leaves that shut during the rainy part of the season, there's a good chance it overflows, and it's going to cause £1 million worth of damage if it floods out the surrounding area. So he's been entrusted with this responsibility to open up this valve. So he opens up the pump house, and he says, can you wait there? So I do at first. I wait there, and then I hear him tuttering inside the pump house, and he can't do it. For some reason, the electric rotork valve faults, and it won't open, and the lake is getting higher and higher. So I say to him, look, it doesn't matter with those rotork valves. You can put it into manual operation. You need to disengage the gearing. I'll show you how to do it if you want. And he says, well, okay then. He said, just you, no one else, just you. So I go in, and it's one of those colossal rotor valves, and it's got a big wheel head, a huge wheel head. The diameter of the valve is really, really big. It's probably sort of like 18 inches to allow, and to lower the lake at that point, it has to be a big valve, which then sidles the water away into other areas and stops the lake from overflowing. So when I get there, I can see that he's visibly shaking. He's obviously frustrated, he can't do it, and he's panicking. So I say, calm down, Mr. Morris, calm down. It is just a simple case of using the manual operation. Allow me to show you. So I'm showing Mr. Morris how to open his valve, and it takes me 2 minutes to open it fully. And as I'm opening up the valve, I can hear in the background all this thunderous vehicle noise of heavy machinery. And I look at him, and he's visibly shaking. He just has no idea about what's about to happen. And at that point there, unfortunately, I actually woke up. Otherwise, who knows where this dream could have gone. But it was interesting. And if there's anybody out there that knows about dreams, and they could sort of explain to me why I'm having a few dreams about what you call the end times at the moment, then tell me. Tell me, what does it mean? And why was I so helpful to help one of the governing body members? What does that say about me? I don't know. You tell me. There's got to be some hidden meaning somewhere in this dream that I just don't understand at this moment. But you guys might. And there you go. And that was my jumbled up dream involving Anthony Morris III and Mikey. And no one else. There were others in there, but they were not identified in the dream. These are the only ones that were identified. And I'm wondering why. Okay, that peeps. That's my dream. Told to you. Thank you.